Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Thank you guys so much for being on this call. We have some great speakers that I will delve into in just a moment. But first, I wanted to recognize the freaking rock stars who have already hit Success Club on the 4th of the month. Stop. This is amazing. So if you guys know any of these people that I'm about to announce, please, please, please shout them out. Give them some love because this is freaking amazing. It's the 4th of the month. 4th, guys. Come on. This is amazing. So anyways, with the leaderboard, Success Club 20, Sammy Glonick, my sister. Dang, girl. 14 with Bercelia Lindor, aka Carly 2. 12 successful points with both Carly Lindor and Alex Police. Success Club 8, Adam Hoffhines. So congratulations to all of you guys who have updated the doc and added those Success Club points on the board. So people who have not yet hit Success Club but have already changed some lives. Taylor Ricker with SC4. And then everybody that I'm about to say has SC2, means they've changed one new life. Super freaking amazing already. Ryan Ricker, Brandon Dolling, Stephanie Gilliland, Kathy Police, Emmy Macy, and Rebecca Carr. So congratulations to all of you amazing people. Like I said, it's only the 4th of the month, so there is so much time to get on this board, so much time to change lives, and make sure you guys edit that document. Invite to finish to be recognized on next week's call. And also I want to recognize the top recruiters. So these are people who are adding coaches to the team already. Again, the 4th of the month. This is insane. Leading at the very top with 3 new coaches in 4 days. What? Sammy Glonick, my sister. 2 coaches, Taylor Ricker and myself. And then tied with 1 coach, Adam Hoffhines, Ryan Ricker, and Brandon Dolling. So we've got some supportive guys here. I love it. Oh my gosh, so proud of you all. So anyways, I'm going to get right into this call because I know you guys don't want to hear from me. So here we are. So I asked 3 coaches who have been running some awesome challenge groups lately to really just hit it home with what's working, what they're doing, how they change things up, how they structure things. And I think this is going to be a great call for every single person. I'm excited to take notes. So first we have Heather Bernard, who is a 1-star diamond coach. She is a team leader on the Leadership Ladder, and she's hit successful for 12 months in a row. Freaking amazing. Sammy Danis is a diamond coach. She is a team builder on the Leadership Ladder, and she has hit successful for 13 months in a row. Amazing. And then also Samantha Ioha is a 1-star diamond coach, team leader on the Leadership Ladder, and she has hit successful for 32 months in a row. Amazing. 32 months. Insane. So anyways, so how we're going to do this is we're going to just take it into chunks. So you're going to hear from Sam and then Sammy and then Heather. So I've asked them different questions ahead of time, so they've got lots of great information for us. So I'm just going to first unmute Sam. All right, so I think she's good to go. So we're going to get started with the first question. So guys, I know you guys are going to have lots of questions throughout this call. I just ask that you guys hold your questions till the end, maybe just jot it in your notes, because she's going to be presenting, these 3 girls are going to be presenting, and sometimes the chat is a little confusing because we know you guys are really funny and you guys say a lot of jokes, and I love to read them after the fact, but keep your questions for the end because we do have time for questions at the end. So first question, how do you structure your paid challenge groups? Who do you run them with? Do you use a template? And how do you determine those posts?
Okay, Jane, you can hear me? Okay, that's a loaded question, but I have a lot prepared for you guys for this question because I love that Jamie asked me to do this call because me like a year and a half ago, my passion lies like in mentoring my coaches. And my challenge groups were like, hit or miss. And so for me, I do this now full time, but when I was working crazy hours, I needed to make sure I was finding joy in all of the aspects of coaching. And I knew I needed to change things up. And it's amazing changing things and how just my heart feels happier. My clients have been seeing more results. So I'm really excited to share with you guys some things. I keep things really simple, really basic. For me, I'll dive into like the structure in terms of like setting up the group and everything, and then the content, and then my coaches. So I do one group. I don't recreate groups because trust me, that was me when I first started. I created a group and then closed it out, and then it was a lot of management and maintenance. And when I was working full time, I just couldn't do that. So I went away from that. And what I do is I start my monthly boot camps and I run them 3 weeks at a time. This last month was a little different because my new coaches that I run the group with and their clients and my clients, we did a health bet. So they did a buy-in and we ran it from the 6th to the 30th. So it was like 3.5 weeks. But typically they're 3 weeks and then 1 week off, and then they dive into a new month. And then we start the first Monday or the second Monday of every month, depending on some holidays that fall in the beginning of the month. So I keep that really consistent. So one, my clients know. Two, like just having my schedule and knowing, okay, when is March 2018's challenge group going to start? Then I know already. So in my mind, it's just like very simplified and very easy. So I keep one group and I call the group Monthly Boot Camp with Team Heart Fitness. And that's the team. I'm founder of Team Heart Fitness. And for me, one, that's planting seed of this is a team, this is a community. It's not just, Fit Boot Camp, 21-day challenge with Samantha Ioha, or, some themes. For me, I keep that consistent. So my clients know that is the boot camp. They probably have no idea what the heck Team Heart Fitness is. Some may know, but it's also planting seeds of the community. Like, oh, I'm a part of this team. That's awesome. So I keep that name very consistent. And then what I do within the group structurally, every month, the cover photo will change. So last month was Team Heart Fitness health bet. And then we posted monthly updates with people based on their scores and shouted them out. And then this month is a holiday boot camp. And I call all of my boot camps, like when I'm talking with other coaches, I say challenge groups, but you will never see me posting unless I say a challenge. On my last post, when I shouted out my winner for the group, I said a challenge because it was a physical challenge, not join my challenge group. Because to me, if I read that and I wasn't a coach, I would be like, okay, they're doing like a challenge to, like, for me, I would say like plank challenge, like squat challenge. So it isn't something beyond what our boot camps offer. So I say my virtual boot camps or my boot camps. That's what I do. I call it that and I keep it really simple. So the cover photo will change every month. The title of the group will not change. And then like the name within the sidebar of the group. So if someone joins and they stay with me for 2 months, I filter them into something, but also I want them to know that that's always the place where I'm running my fresh new monthly boot camps, and I keep it consistent. Every month I also do and create graphics. So I don't have everyone posting within the group, like clicking post. Everyone's commenting on a picture. And I keep all of the graphics, and I'll dive into like what the structure of it looks like. All the same template with, day, whatever. I create that. And then I share it with my new coaches that I'm running the group with. And the reason why I stay within the group is because I invest a lot of time in the file section of my group. I invest a lot in the album section. So you'll see a lot of pictures of Shakeology recipes. And guys, trust me, if you're like, oh my gosh, like I can barely even just like post in it, or I can barely even like check in and comment on all of my clients because your schedule is so busy. Trust me, this was, I posted and did this on Saturdays when I had free time when I was working full time. I wanted to use this as a place. And just like anything in your business, do it as you're doing it in your business, and then it's there. Don't do it when it doesn't make sense for your flow. Like, don't do something for a boot camp if you're focusing on a coach preview. Focus on that and then get back to it. So for me, it's ever evolving, it's improving, it's changing. But file section, I treat it like treating them and teaching them practices of what new coaches would be. Personal development, affirmation examples. So I have a file in there that's like sample affirmations. And then I talk about changing, doing affirmations, not like I'm strong, I'm able, but listing on one side of the piece of paper your weaknesses, your excuses, or your limiting beliefs, and then what an affirmation based on that could look like. And that's in the file section. So forever it's going to live there. I don't have to recreate that. So that's one of the main reasons why I do not change and funnel that out. I do a brand new group for test groups, but monthly, and that's like once or twice most a year. And so I keep it within one group. And then for me, my perspective in terms of getting people into my boot camps, and then whether they're getting the results or they want to do it for 1 month and then they're traveling, I always check in with them, but I always have a place to add them into. So if, say, 6 months in, they're like, all right, Sam, like, I think I get it. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do, whatever they're doing. And they also they don't want to restart day one. I funnel them into another group that's called Samantha's VIP Lifestyle Clients. And so within that group, my content differs because, one, they probably hit their goal. They already know how to portion control their meals. I post different things in there like, healthier options for drinks. And although I wouldn't post it in, my boot camp where people are really focusing on their results and sticking to the meal plan 90, 10, or 100%. So it's different content that I'm sharing within, more of a lifestyle, like how to maintain it, and then I'll post and I'll link within my VIP group, because you can link within your groups. I link back to my monthly boot camp. So whenever they want, and I always post in it sporadically. I'm living in that group too, but I'm focusing primarily on my new clients within that boot camp. So that's how I structure it. And then in terms of content communication, me structuring my month one. So if you are working with me and this is your very first month, what you will do is get an email series in addition to the communication personal message or within the Facebook group. So within that, my goal as a coach is, and my approach is, I want to empower women to feel comfortable and confident in their own skin. And that's my goal. And it starts with not just having them say, all right, Sam, I want to lose 10 pounds. Great, why? Like, please tell me why, because your motivation is going to disappear. Your discipline, that's when it needs to happen. Like, motivation can disappear in 2 seconds. So for me as a coach, I want to instill those behaviors. We do as coaches every day, personal development. Maybe they're anti everything with personal development. So my approach is, how would I mentor my coaches? Same thing with how would I help my clients, is I want to instill the basics in terms of their own confidence in the meal prep. Maybe that's easy for them. Maybe it's waking up in the morning, but it starts with affirmations. So they will get a welcome guide from me and I will communicate with them. I have my welcome guide up just to go through everything. It is one that I created. It's like 17 pages. It was when I was feeling super creative. It's like getting started right guide with your coach, Samantha Yoha, because I personalize it. And then it's like getting started checklist, finding your program, printing off your workouts. And then it's all visual, like step 1, step 2. Read through your nutrition plan. I can post this in Team Fight to Finish afterwards. Plan your meals, meal prepping. Post before pictures and measurements, get plugged into the boot camp, and it's a direct link from the PDF into the boot camp because I keep the same boot camp, so I don't have to worry about changing links. And then clean out time, talking about cleaning out, mentally cleaning out like the negative thoughts, but also cleaning out your pantry and cleaning out your refrigerator. And then my favorite part is, this is when we get to be creative and get to be the coach that you want to be with your clients. I have them send me before and after photos and measurements. Not everyone does it, but the people that do find and see the most results. And it's scary for some people, but I always tell them, like, trust me, I'm not going to show this to anyone. It is just for me. And even if you don't even share it with me, I want you to take a picture, put it in a private folder on your phone, and just tell me you did it. Because I want you to be blown away by your results at the end. And that's what I say to them, because you have that belief because these programs work, but you have to instill it in them immediately before they hit day 1, leading into prep week, leading into everything that they're doing. So I also have them write, including with their measurements, and I'll include this, in the Team Fight to Finish documents, but a commitment statement. I know a lot of us Diamonds collaborated on a similar document, but talking about them in affirmations. The next 21 days, I will be doing They fill in and they send this back to me. They fill in their program after we've talked about which one to do. I will rock these 3 weeks out because I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm willing to make time for myself and my fitness, and I have support to do so. And then they also send me, this matters to me because some people get really, really long-winded, and it's great because then I can coach them. And then they also say, when I want to give up, I remember, and I have them, and I put in parentheses, fill in your why. I will make time for myself, fill in, and then I give examples. Saying no to happy hour so you can work out, waking up 30 minutes early, limiting my TV time, etc. And then reward after my 3 weeks will be food, a treat, new workout clothes, shoes, whatever. So they start to be invested emotionally. And that's when behaviors change, is when you are emotionally invested in something. It's not just, I want to look like so-and-so. You have to be emotional to see results beyond, losing 3 pounds or sticking to workouts for 5 days in a row. They have to emotionally know and remember it. And that's what we do as coaches in our challenge group, continue to remind them. But without them actually verbalizing it, sending it to you, or thinking about it, they will never get there because they've never thought about it. And then I end my document with my mission for you. My mission for you isn't for you to feel like you have to be on a diet in order to see and feel results. My mission is for you to learn what your body needs, how to fuel it properly, and that you deserve to make time for yourself. My mission is to empower you to feel confident, comfortable in your own skin. Fitness starts from within. It's not a quick fix, it's a lifestyle change. So that's the end of the document. And guys, not all my clients probably read my 17-page and as excited as I am about it. But what I do from that is that's the visual part of it. And people are visual, people are all different learning types. So what I do is I pull that content out and I include it in my email series. So they're seeing it, but I'm presenting it in different ways. So email 1, they'll get, and I use Google Streak, and I pay for the full version. So what I can do is when you get to the point in my pipeline where you are officially in my group, you sent me your measurements and your statement. I send you the welcome guide that you already gotten. And then I send you the email series, and I click and schedule them all. So they're all pending, and you can all merge them. And it is day 1, the welcome, and be prepared, expectations, be excited about your fitness. 2, I think they get day 5, which is just meal prepping tips and tricks, which I pulled directly from my document that I already created. And then the third email will be about self-love and acts of self-love, not just painting your nails or getting your hair done. It's saying no to things. It's drinking coffee by yourself before your kids wake up. It's all of these things that can really make you happier and appreciate your life. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to wake up in the morning and do your workout. Or if you don't think you're worth it, and you're working on that part of loving yourself, you're not going to wake up when it gets really hard. So that's my goal throughout this series. Email 4 is about Shakeology. Again, pulling my recipes from my guide, putting it in email series, having links and making sure that they are liking their Shakeology. And 5 is just wrapping it up and talking about, I send them a motivational video and just wrapping it up. So again, I'm instilling affirmations and just self-love and self-care, because then the tough love and the real nitty-gritty product details of caloric intake and what are you eating and is it the top of the bracket, all of that stuff that's not so nice and not so fun to talk about. We talk about it, but it's also the foundation is instilled with the self-love and affirmation and just being really freaking pumped up to see results. So within that email series, I schedule on Google Streak. And then, so my whole thing with my coaches, sorry, Jamie, this is so long. But so that's the strategy behind, before they even get content within the group. So I keep things, again, really, really simple. I have the same graphic for my challenge groups every month. They change a little bit. Maybe it's the background. I keep them simple. I don't do anything, crazy. Last month, it was a black background with gradation. It will always have a box on it and will say day 26. Check-in. And then below it, it will say repeat after me in red, because the color red people remember. So repeat after me, and then it will be an affirmation. And last month it was change my habits and I'll change my life. And that was the affirmation. So every day when they're seeing the check-in, they'll also read that same affirmation. And the more that you see things and the more that you read things, the more that you're starting to believe like, okay, you're right, I am changing my habits. And this month is repeat after me. I choose to make myself a priority during the holiday season. I'm not waiting until January 1st. And that's what they're going to read every day of this December boot camp. So I keep that post consistent. And what I do is I create that. And then in my group chat with my new coaches that I run my group with, I remove the number. And I'm like, all right, guys, based on the date that you have, I did in Canva, put the number that you have. You have Mondays or you have Tuesdays. And I just do 1 a.m. post and I schedule it. And we schedule it for 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it always, and it's just one post and everyone's commenting within that post. So all the posts aren't everywhere. One, you get immediate visibility of one, who's checking in. If you have like 5 clients or 3 clients that month, you can see, okay, on day 4 and 5, so-and-so didn't check in. Rather than scrolling through and seeing everything, everything's within one post. And all you have to do is scroll through the comments. And then when you do fun challenges within that post, say it's, update yourself or update your progress throughout the day of your water intake. Let's try and get a gallon. We've done that. So people will comment on their posts. So everything's still bunched together for them. It's not always perfect, but it's really easy for us as coaches to see it. Very similar to, not as analytical as the My Challenge Tracker app, literally seeing them type it in, but you can see visually who's not showing up within your group, and you can start to, check in with them before they fall off. So it's a great way to keep everything there. So the structure of the post itself stays the same. I create it in Canva. One, it empowers my new coaches to use Canva, get comfortable with it, and then learn how to schedule the posts within the challenge group. Because before that, we had to use like Hootsuite or something like that. Now we can just do it. If you're an admin of the group, you can just schedule it within. So my new coaches immediately start to get comfortable with Canva, start to get comfortable with layout, keeping things simple, but also scheduling things within a group because it saves all of us time. And the structure, the copy of my post is always day whatever, and then that copy that has like about nutrition or Shakeology or self-love or tips on hydration or tips on making your Shakeology, that's up to whatever coach, whoever has that day. And one coach has every day. And then at the bottom of it, we always say hyphen or however each coach wants to do it, but Shaco affirmations daily drill, post below. So everyone's posting throughout the day what they're eating, what they're drinking, their sweaty selfie. So again, it's not just your sweaty selfie, it's everything. And some people only do their sweaty selfie, but it's consistent. And the great thing about just leaving that copy blank for my coaches in terms of a template, I don't use a template in terms of, here you go, guys, here's copy for, like that you can get from my Challenge Tracker app and get sample posts. I don't do any of that. I do templates in terms of just like the structure of it, like day whatever, post this, and then, ask for this, and then the post itself, what it looks like. Because then I start to see what, if you're a brand new coach and you're like, oh my gosh, Sam, I have no idea what to post. Of course, I will give you samples, but I start to see kind of where my new coaches thrive. Some of them are medical focused. Some of them are, a little timid to post a little bit more. Some of them have suffered eating disorders. So their approach and outlook on, going crazy on Thanksgiving is different than mine. So you start to get and see, as a coach, coaching other people and mentoring them within the boot camps, you start to see where, one, they're thriving, where you could help them more, and also just encourage them to keep doing or positioning themselves a certain way. If they're a nutritionist or based on their full-time job, like they can bring something and add more flair to the table. So I just give them that shell of the post. So that's a long-winded answer of all of that.
So good. Like, I think everyone's heads were like this, like 20 different times. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So do you do any kind of like pop-up challenges within your groups?
So I have done a lot in the past, and recently, I know this leads into my last question, Jane, but this is where we can be creative, because what works for me, what works for my clients may not work for you guys, because you better believe like my first probably year of coaching was way different than like my knowledge with products now, or just like with just people's behaviors and when they fall off, is you have to always be nimble. And if you have a quiet challenge group, and if you're like, oh my gosh, people are just not saying anything, what I would do is create something and have a strategy behind it. So is your strategy behind doing a pop-up challenge of, post a plank to create engagement, to be fun, to bring people out of their shell? Or is it to give them, incentivize them something? One of my favorite things to do is to have strategy behind doing these pop-up challenges, whether it's, and it really doesn't have to be like, do 50 push-ups, or, do 5 more reps after every workout that you've done, or, post publicly on your page. It can be shout someone else out that inspires you within the group. And so these challengers start to shout out each other that you have no idea. And then other people start connecting. So it's not just you as the coach and other coaches, it's clients in it. So you start to bring out other elements. You can do, Fitness Friday and, have people, post a flexing photo out with your family on a Saturday or something. Do something fun, whatever your personality is. Like if you're freaking awkward, own it, be awkward, and like do fun challenges and just be you. And your client signed up with you for a reason. So for me, some things that I've done is like stop, drop, and plank. And so people were like in the grocery store with their husband, planking. And then I tied it to like a giveaway. So when Daily Sunshine came out, you can, give them a little package, and guess what? They have 3 kids. You can have them try it. Or Energize, because who doesn't love Energize or could benefit from Energize? And, comment someone that inspires me. Tell me how this leads into, I think, my last one, or my next question. But I started a hashtag for my team and for my clients, and it's hashtag THFBAMF. No kids, I can't see right now, but it's like Team Heart Fitness badass motherfucker. So like that pumps me up saying it out loud. So it's like these people are like, oh, like I didn't know Sam sweared. And so it was just like so cool to see all these people like post and then use that hashtag and be like really pumped up and really excited. So having it tied to just like a giveaway or a drawing or promotion behind like new products that are coming out has been huge for me.
So I love what you said about the Daily Sunshine. I had that too, but never even thought to look at my clients like with the kids, like duh. I always love giving Energize samples and just getting the 10 packs, especially just because people freak out over that. Like even if it's like a coach preview or something, we'll be like, all right, if you sign up by tonight, you get an extra little surprise, little Energize surprise. They're like, okay, I'll sign up tonight. So I know you use live in your groups and you love it. You love going live, like keeps your group exciting. But how do you utilize doing this? Like, is it just you? Is it your coaches? And then how has this helped your business?
So I love going live. One, because sometimes we as coaches, we feel like you get to a certain point, you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many clients, whether it's current clients or last month or the month before. And you're like, I'm just not even present. And I shared this with my team that I surveyed some of my clients and they're like, when you go live, I feel like you're more present than you sending me email series. And I'm like, dang, I'll just do that. So it's like we overthink things, and us just being present within the group going live has been incredible. So a couple of things with that, again, based on, you need to judge kind of the feel of the group. You can do a poll and say, what are people struggling with? I'm going to go live on Sunday at this time. And, what are some of your questions? I did that in my group. What are you struggling with? And I had a bunch of questions, that so many that I actually had to write down and go live. I'm going live tonight after this call just to address everyone. So everyone knows that I care about them and I'm really thinking through everything that they've asked. So going live, I've done it product specific. So like Jamie said, giving out Energize, guys, some people fall off and don't drink Shakeology because they don't see results or feel it as much as an Energize. Energize, you can feel it immediately. The tingling feeling, the excited feeling, freaking your workout just, rocks through it. So do a freaking boomerang and, post it in your group and say like before and after Energize or something like that. But also talk about products. So I went in, I know I shared it with the Diamonds page, but I went in and was like product 101. And I was like, a lot of people have asked, maybe one person asked, but say a lot of people have been asking about, my pre-workout. And I broke down like the 3 main ingredients, what it does and how it's a nootropic and how it helps with pre-workout, but also it has effects to keep mental clarity up to 6 hours afterwards. So it's like having a cup of coffee extended throughout your workout. You absorb everything with the caffeine, and then all the other ingredients help you stay mentally alert, probably until about 1 p.m. if you're working out in the morning. So I did something product specific. And then Thanksgiving, I went live and I actually started crying because I was this giant stress ball. And I titled the video, Stay Your Course. And I was like, you guys, you have to, I think it was Stay Your Course, but that you have to realize that if life is hard right now, if your journey is really hard right now, you have to keep staying your course and put one step in front of the other because it will change. So it's getting emotional on certain things based on your journey. If you suffer from an eating disorder and you talk about it on social media and you talk about anxiety or you talk about things that are not just health and fitness, but mental health, that's huge. Talk about it within your groups. I talk about self-love and I talk about cellulite and how, guess what? We're human. We have it. And it's okay that we're flawed. So it's deepened a lot of my relationships within my clients, and I didn't even realize it until I surveyed them. So it's really changed my group, and it's changed even like client groups that I've done with like my entire downline too.
Thank you. You're amazing. Okay, I'm going to look for Sammy. Sorry, I have to find her with all you 150 freaking people. Holy, oh my gosh, hi. Thank you for waving at me. Okay, hi. Also, this chat, you guys are just eating up this call, so this like makes my heart so happy. And remember, we will have questions at the end. So, Sammy, first question for you, girlfriend. How do you keep things new and exciting amongst your groups, especially if you have, a quieter group?
All right, so I haven't actually luckily had a quiet group in a while, and I know when you first get started, you have those quiet groups because you don't really have anyone in the groups to, can you guys hear an echo, or is it just me? It's just me, okay. So if you don't really have anyone in the groups, then, they're quiet, and that's just how it happens. So what I have done back then and what I do now is I always pair up with other people, and other things that I do too is that I make sure I'm running some groups in the Facebook group and then some are in the Challenge Tracker app. So people aren't getting, stuck one way or the other, because some of my people have been in my groups since, I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. So some of my people have been with me this whole time. So I try to switch it up what I'm doing depending on what kind of group it is. So in October, one that I did that was one of the most successful groups I've ever run. Me and 2 people from my downline, Jill and Lisa, we ran a group called the Power Partners Group. And what we did was we paired up people who were looking for partners in the challenge group that month. So what we did was invited all of our people, and then we posted a poll within the group, and we asked those people, okay, what are you looking for in a partner? And I thought this was going to be a huge flop, but luckily it wasn't. So we would ask them, are you looking to be pushed? Are you looking to motivate someone and also have them motivate you? Are you super motivated and now you're just looking to motivate somebody else and like, hello, that's a great coaching opportunity? Or are you, do you have a lot on your plate this month and you're kind of just looking for someone, that's kind of, you don't have to check in with them every day. Luckily, only 2 people said that. We paired them together. And then the 3 of us got on a Zoom call and we spent 40 minutes really pairing these people up depending on what they truly needed. And yes, it was time consuming, but we actually created some friendships within that group and they're carrying on into real life. So it was actually a really cool thing. Another thing that we did in that group, because you know how sometimes if you pair up with people, you only post like 3 3 to 5 times, and then the rest of the whole 3 weeks are like MIA. So we were finding that we weren't as like, attached to the group if we weren't participating all the time. So what we did was, so there's 3 different roles for the 3 people. So let's say week 1, I posted every single morning. It was like Sam was saying, it was that initial check-in and everyone posted within that. So the wall just wasn't a free-for-all. And then the second person would always post a recipe at night, whether it was a Shakeology recipe or just a healthy recipe. And then the third person was in charge of monitoring all of the comments, making sure everyone got a response or a like or anything. And then they were also keeping track of all the points, because with 40 people in that group, there's about 20 teams, like that was a lot of points, but you're only doing it for 7 days. So, ended up working out. Then I recently, last month, ran a challenge group with my upline coach, Sammy Glonick, and I've never run a group with her before, so it was really awesome. I don't know how we've never run a group before together, but it was great, like kind of being this far in our business and seeing how the other person runs the group. So I would just recommend, like, anyone you've never worked with before, if you trust them and you know that they're reliable, like, I would totally reach out to them and just run a group with them and see what they do differently, because I've learned so much in those 4 weeks. And now I'm doing a 21 days of giveaways with Alex and her downline. So we have a ton of coaches running that group. And, just remember that if you are bored, then they are bored. So just keep it fun, keep it exciting, and people will keep coming back.
Love that idea of the partners. I think that's so cool. So next question is, how often do you run free groups? What is your magic number, that you run every single month that really just brings you those new clients that are going into your virtual boot camps?
So I actually only run 1 free group a month, and this is why, because I'm also running coaching sneak peeks. After Cassie's call, I also now run those bootcamp basics groups. So I am running groups at all times, plus my challenge group. So things are happening at all times, and it's just not that initial free group that is bringing people in, because I'm constantly inviting to something else. So this is really how my month goes. So the first week of the month, I have prep week for my accountability group. And during that time, I'm advertising for my free group. I typically do the same free group. I have like a Slim Down with Sammy, and I post just like this simple 5-day clean eating plan. I'm looking to change it up because you can only rinse and repeat so many times, and now I don't find joy in it, so I'm looking to change that. But during the first week, I'm advertising for my free group. Week 2, I start the challenge group because prep week has ended, and I run my free group. So both groups are starting really that week. Third week, I have my Bootcamp 101 group, and then the fourth week, I have a coaching sneak peek. So, for the Bootcamp group, I'm pulling people from my free group in week 2 to get into week 3 if they're not ready to just get in with a challenge pack. And then from the Bootcamp and from my challenge group, because that's now wrapping up at the end of the month, that's when I run my coaching sneak peek. So everything kind of has a rhyme and a reason. And because, I do work full time, and I would run as many groups as I possibly could, but I have to stay sane. So that's how I just stay structured, and it's what's working for me.
Love it. I love how your months are just organized too. I think that's key, because when people tell you no, which people say no all the time, you're like, all right, well, my next one is December 11th. Does that work for you? Like, they just feel like, you're really like, you just got it going on. So last question for you. How has running an effective challenge group helped your business overall?
Yeah, running an effective challenge group hasn't only helped my business, it's literally made my business, because that is where my challengers become coaches, and that's where my coaches see how to run successful groups. So, your challenge groups literally, to me, are the basis of what I do, because that is the one thing, if you think about it, if you're running a prep week and you're running the 3-week group, that's your entire month. So literally your whole year is just about these challenge groups, and they have to be fun for you. They have to be fun for them, and you have to be teaching your coaches along the way. So just creating, that place for your clients to go is super important. It's also, you know, what is bringing in those photos and those before and afters and bringing in those testimonials. That is what's helping your business with referrals and bringing in new people. So making sure that I run a successful challenge group, it has to happen. You know, it's a no-brainer because it literally is the foundation of what I do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, next we have Heather. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna get right into her question. So first question for you is, do you run an ongoing challenge group or do you do a new one every single month?
So I love this question because I am pretty much the opposite of what Samantha shared from her ongoing group. And so I have run both actually. And what I have seen success with is running a new group every single month. Not that I didn't love the ongoing group, and I actually love some of Samantha's tips, or all of them, so I'll have to try them. But for me, my ongoing groups just got a little boring. I feel like my challengers got bored. I have a lot of the same, I add new ladies in every month. That helps keep the groups exciting, is adding new faces. But I also have a lot of the same challengers that have been with me. I've been a coach for 4 years. So I have people from like the beginning where I want to keep it fresh and fun and organized. So what I do is I create a new group every single month. Yes, I literally have a ton of old groups, but that's okay because I usually go back through, delete them, see if there's any challengers that maybe have fallen through the cracks or who just kind of fell off the face of the planet, and I invite them to our new group. So I've never had a challenger say like, oh my gosh, you're adding me to a new group, or I don't really want to be in another group. I tell them, you know, you can remove yourself if you want. But for me, maybe it's more mental. I just love having that fresh feel of a new group. I am consistently adding new ladies in my group every month, and I want them to be added into just kind of a clean slate. That's what works for me. So if ongoing groups work for you, then that's amazing. If they're not working, try something new. You can always go back to them. It's your business. There's really no right or wrong to the groups that you run. You just need to be consistent with them. For me, it's just less chaotic. I do a prep week consistently every single group. And what I really like, what I've had my challengers see success with, is we all have those challengers that crush it the first week and then maybe they go MIA, and you check in with them, they don't respond, they see your message, and maybe you tag them in a post, you check in with them again. Yes, I bug my ladies every single week. Sundays are my day to check in with every single challenger, privately, whether it's a voice memo or a message on Messenger. I make sure to set out one day to do that every week, and we're obviously talking all week too. But I have ladies that are like, you know, oh, yeah, I went MIA, I fell off track, like I need a new start. So I'm like, okay, this would work the same in an ongoing group, but hey, I have a new group starting. We have a new round starting. And they're like, okay, add me in. Like I need this fresh start. Another reason why I like to do these new groups every month is the way I end each group. So I got this from as Chelsea, maybe Jamie, I don't know, someone in Shred Nation. I end every single boot camp the same, and it's with 4 questions. At the end on day 21, it's our huge like, yay, congrats, you crushed it. Even if they didn't, like you guys still made it through the group. So proud of you. Like we are going to keep going because you don't just do one group and you're done. Like this is a lifestyle. Join us for the next round. Prep week starts tomorrow, or next week, whatever. So we say comment below number 1 through 4. And I'll repeat them, but I can copy and paste it too. So number 1, I want to move on to the next round as a challenger and continue my journey. I'll repeat it. I want to move on to the next round as a challenger and continue my journey. So on day 21, they will comment, a 1 if they want to move on. 2, I'd like to move on to the next group and invite a friend or friends to join. So this has been really helpful for me, especially because I need this reminder to ask for referrals. I don't do it enough. Where even this last month, I have three or four new ladies that are friend referrals. And they didn't necessarily get a challenge pack. They already had the tools they got from Amazon, whatever. But they are now in our group, and they now have a support system, and they now are interested in Shakeology. They're getting the Shakeology sampler. They're thinking of getting it again. And it's a great conversation starter when my challenger Nicole says, hey, I have a friend that would like to join. It's a great time to have that talk with her. Like, well, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? She could, be your challenger. And most of the time it's like, no, I don't have time to help. I'm not interested, but I would love for you to help them. So referrals is huge. And that's a really simple way to open the doors to those. Number 3, I'd like to move on to the next group and become a preferred customer to get a Shakeology discount. Number 4, I'd like to move on to the next group and help run the challenge as an apprentice coach. I'm interested in getting my Shakeology paid for. So this works for me. So I've been using these 4 questions for a while, and until it stops working, then I'll have to figure out something new. But and just to be completely honest and blunt, like, these are conversations that you should be having with your people before you post this. Like, it's day 21 of my group. I've definitely talked to Sally about saving on her Shakeology already, but this is really nice for new coaches because I do run my group usually with at least 1 or 2 of my new coaches that maybe they haven't had that conversation yet. Or you have a challenger who barely ever posts, and she usually is a 1. She's been a 1 for 1.5 years, and every time you message her, she's a 1, and all of a sudden she's a 3, or she has friends to join. So this is just like a fun way to end the group and then start the group new, because when I was doing my ongoing groups, I was having issues getting people excited again, and so this is what fixed it for me.
I think everyone was freaking out about your 21-day post. That's so awesome. It was not for me. I do not take it.
I can't take credit, but I've been doing it forever, so.
I love it, though. It's so good. Next question. Are your challengers choosing their program, or do they do the same program as everyone else?
So I run the 21-day boot camp every single month. And everyone is doing the program of their choice. To join my boot camps, for the first month, because once you get a challenge pack, you're obviously a challenger of mine for life. You have to have Shakeology, and you have to at least do the meal plan or try the meal plan. That's what we've been talking about for some ladies for months, is the meal plan, Shakeology, and the workouts. But we're not all doing the same exact program because our goals are different. I've done the 21-day fix many times, so I don't really want to do it for 3 years in a row. But I usually suggest that for a lot of my people are moms. Based on their goals, you'll know what program to suggest. So part of prep week, day 1 is introductions, and it's also saying, okay, you probably already talked to your coach already, but try a few of the workouts and see what program gets you excited and what program you want to do. You're going to be drinking Shakeology like everybody else. You're going to be using the portion control meal plan, but you can do the workout that excites you. And if it's longer than 21 days, that's fine, because you're going to roll into our next group anyway. So you're not going to be like left in the dust. And just to add in, I do what Samantha and Sammy do, where I do a morning post, and every meal picture, every selfie, everything is that people post is on that one post for the day. Because the way I used to run groups, people were posting all day long and you couldn't find anything. And then I do an evening check-in too. When we do the same program, it's for when a new program launches. That is when we all do the same. So for Shift Shop, I did a test group. Mine was pretty small, but everyone in there was like 100% in Shift Shop, and they had Shakeology. they were doing the grain-free, and they were doing the workouts. I still ran my 21-day boot camp because not everyone wanted to do Shift Shop. Not all of my challengers were ready for Shift Shop. They really had no interest in it, and that's fine. But I think it's really fun when programs do launch. I know we've done like huge TFTF groups, is when everyone is doing the same group. And obviously 80 Day Obsession is coming, so I'll be running a test group for that and trying to get most of my challengers to do that. But yeah, so usually they do their own thing, but it's definitely a Beachbody program.
Yeah, I think it's a huge part is to really talk about the launches that are coming. And 80 Day Obsession is something that we know is coming in January. So like everyone on this call should be, when they do a preview, you should be trying those out and talking about it and showing your challengers, like getting them hyped about it, because when you prepare for launches, which we'll definitely talk more about, but when you prepare for launches, your business can freaking skyrocket. Like Hammer and Chisel was huge for a lot of our businesses, and then freaking Shift Shop was another joke, like just because we had been preparing for it and talking about it all the time. All right, last question for you. How do you teach your coaches to host successful challenge groups?
So my answer is pretty simple, but I teach my coaches by showing them how a successful group can be run. I add all of my new coaches into my boot camps, and they do a round as a challenger. Now, for me, and you guys might be half and half or a little different, but most of my coaches, and pretty much lately, my coaches have been challengers first. So they already know they already love the group. That's part of the reason they're becoming a coach, is because they love it. They love the accountability. But if I have someone who maybe has never done a challenge group before, they have no idea what it is, they are definitely in my group. And I encourage them, all of my coaches, I run my group with 6 other coaches, max now. So we each have a full day. It stays organized. They know their posts ahead of time. I encourage them to post. Like if you're helping me run the group, you're posting all throughout the day. Obviously, you don't have to be attached to your phone. You can't be. But you're posting your meals. You're posting your sweaty selfies. You're commenting on other people's stuff. You're liking other people's stuff. And you have to make sure that you're doing the same. I think Sammy mentioned it. Like you have to be in your group. You have to be doing it with them. So if you're going to post in the morning, post your meals and selfies, that's what I do, then I'm going to be posting my meals and selfies throughout the day. Pour love and motivation into your group. Show your coaches like how powerful these challenge groups are. I'm super passionate about my challenge groups because it keeps me motivated on my journey, and it's kept me motivated on my journey when I don't feel like working out, or I want to eat pizza, or not stick to my meal plan, whatever. So I even asked my coaches that I'm running the group with like this question, like, hey guys, what has helped you like be confident in running groups? And they said being a part of the group, having a template. So I have a prep week template. I don't have like a full 21-day template yet. And just being a part of like a fun, engaging group. And obviously like all the tips that Sammy and Samantha shared on keeping it engaged and prizes and all that fun stuff. But if you run a group and you want your coaches to duplicate it, then you have to be like run a badass group, and you have to be like an awesome challenger in your own group. So I could go on forever about it, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for us just to be like in the trenches with everyone is the best example that we can be. So I know you guys have said some questions. So how I think we're going to try and do this is if you have a question for a specific person, just put their name in capital letters, and then they can hop on and cover that for a little bit. I know it's getting a little bit late and everything, but I mean, this is probably like my favorite team call I've ever had. It's so good. So if you guys have questions, just put them in the questions below, and then that person can answer. All right, Sam, EOHI, you got the first question, guru.
Okay, so do I do prep week? So I probably do prep week. That's what I'm doing with my clients, like individually, but we do some type of prep week in terms of just posting our meal plan. Some of us will go live sometimes, but we do I probably do like a full-blown prep week that I think we all have the same template. Probably every 3 months, because I have people in it that they're like, okay, this again, so I do something, but it's a variation. A lot of it is kind of offline, personalized with them based on their submission and goals, but it's more focused on meal prep, obviously, but versus anything. And my guide does a lot of what my prep week kind of did. You're muted, James.
I'm unmuted. Am I supposed to say something?
All right, Heather, you had a question from Lindsay next. I'm just going to go in order.
Okay. Do you delete the old challenge group and the new challenge group starts? No, I don't. What I like to do is I probably right now have like 3 or 4 months worth of old groups. But what I do is I will add the link, like I will post in each group. Hey, this is the link to our 21-day Christmas boot camp. We're doing 21 days of giveaways, and I'll copy and paste it in each group. Yes, most of the same people see it. They don't care. And then request to join, because there's people that seriously don't respond to me or don't respond to the 1, 2, 3, 4. I can copy and paste it in there. So eventually, yes, I will delete it, but it's usually just up and I honestly kind of forget about it.
All right, Sammy, the next question was for you.
Can you talk more about your Bootcamp Basics 101 group? Okay, so with that one, Cassie did a whole team call on this. So she posted it right in Team Fight to Finish. But basically, it's just posting a lot of recaps of, people's progress. And it's basically, I ran it with my coach Jill, but we just took turns going live, talking about, our story and, what a challenge group would bring to you, what it's all about, and just kind of giving them some insight before they actually, take the plunge and join.
All right, Sam, you have a question after that one.
Okay, so for my ongoing challenge group and keeping track of old clients. So what I do everything in Google Streaks. So I create a brand new pipeline for December boot camp. So I know, my clients that are in it that are brand new, they'll get the email series. I know everyone from November and October and September. So what I do is I pay, again, the full version. So for me, organization is something I struggle with. So what I do is say I wrap up a challenge group and I talk to them about their goals, what they're doing. Maybe they're going on vacation, they have a honeymoon for December that they just want to get back to in January. So what I'll do is I will create a task within that person and say, follow up with so-and-so. So on that day, I will get a notification. So then that's part of my reach outs, rather than being like, oh my gosh, I should check in with my October and my May group. Like, I ask them at the end of it, and that's what I'll do, and I'll continue to do as long as they want to work with me. If they're just like, I just want to be in your lifestyle group, then that's what they'll be. And if they're commenting and engaging and being a part of that, that's great. Because again, it's based on their goals. And I always tell them I'm an open door. So I do it month to month, and Google Streak saves my life because it reminds me, like, check in with so-and-so. Maybe it's from, even June, but for me, based on their goals and my notifications, it's helped a lot.
So Heather, Mary had asked, how do you communicate to your challengers to post their food/selfies on just the one morning post?
Oops, I don't know what I'm pushing. So how we do it is every morning, the coach that is posting that day, they can post whatever they want. It's usually something motivational, maybe something about adding in PD or whatever. We honestly just put at the end of the post, like share all of your sweaty selfies and meals and whatever else, you know, is on your heart for the day or on your mind in the comments below only. And honestly, after like the first day, people catch on that every day, like this is a point of the group is for support, and you're going to be posting these every day. So we just flat out say like, post your stuff. We want to see it. And they get the hang of it right away.
All right, so Abby had asked any of you guys who want to answer this, what do you do if whoever was supposed to post that day doesn't do their post? Does anybody want to answer that one?
I can. So one of us will step in and post, and then one of us feels like crap, and then because we're in a group chat with everyone doing it, and then we're like, gotta get your shit together. So I think we'd feel bad, and then I see Megan like shaking her head because that's happened before. But it's also like, hello, this is our business. We need to take it seriously. Although like our clients don't probably take it as seriously as we do, or like care as much in terms of when the post is going, but it like treat it like a big business, and within that group chat of other coaches, you have to have that mentality, because then your downline will have that mentality of like, schedule your stuff, schedule your month. It's not hard to do it. So recommend and have everyone schedule their posts.
I definitely agree with that. Okay, Audra had asked, do you guys do any kind of Skype or Zoom calls with your new challengers to explain the containers, or do you send them the video from YouTube or anything like that? I don't do either of those. Do any of you guys do any of that?
I don't do either. In prep week, we go over the containers, and basically everything I do is back and forth kind of through email. I did do one phone call, seriously, in the last, like, ever since I've been coaching, with a new mom who wanted to talk about the containers. That's the first one I've ever done. So usually it's like prep week. I send a welcome email. I got from Jess, maybe who got from Samantha, and I send them like, this is where you can find the meal plan. This is what I eat every single day. So we kind of like sprinkle it in all week over prep week, if that makes sense. But yeah.
All right, is there a favorite app you like to use besides Canva? Anyone? I just use Canva.
Yeah, I just use Canva.
Just Canva.
We have an awesome Canva tutorial coming in 2 weeks with Amy Rada. Okay, Sam, I have not run a challenge group before. What if I only have 1 or 2 challengers? Is it awkward? What do you do?
You freaking rock it out. You have 1 client or 50, like treat them, like love them, and have them see and get and feel some badass results.
Yes. And I think that's where it comes into play, where you can branch off with other teammates, even if you don't have any coaches, but ask people like, hey, I want to run a group with someone else. Because then if other people have 1 challenger or 2, now you have 6 if you have 2 other girls that you're running it with. And it actually takes more time and pressure off of you because you have less work to do. Okay, this question's for anyone. If you co-host a group with another coach and your challengers get to know their challengers, is it awkward when you host your own group and no longer have their challengers in that group?
I don't think so, because this just happened, and they know, like, at the beginning, I'll say, you know, I'm so lucky that I get to co-host this group with Jill and Lisa and all of their challengers. So they know, you know, this is just for right now, and you're going to have to break up. But we did the partner thing, and a lot of them still keep in touch. So, and we'll mix and mingle, you know, throughout the next groups or whatever, but it's not awkward.
How do you politely tell people wanting to sign up that Shaco is a requirement to join?
So I am just honest with them. I let them know, like, listen, you don't have to get it every single month. I've been drinking it forever. I'm obsessed with it. But you want to know how I got my results, and I got it with Shakeology, with the portion control meal plan, and with the workouts. Shakeology being like, I'm completely obsessed with it. So I spend a lot of time on my groups and pour a lot into you. Like, I want you to invest in yourself. And yeah, I guess I'm just kind of honest and blunt that I didn't get the results without without Shakeology. Shakeology was a huge part of that, and they need it. They at least have to try it for 30 days. And then it's up to them if they want to get it again.
Yeah, and I think it's just really important to talk about it because, like, I just tell everybody that it's basically liquid Drano for your insides, and that's where your results are going to start, is on the inside. And typically, no matter how healthy you are, we all have lots of sugar and salt and fat on our insides. So seriously, it goes through and removes all that sludge. So it's like, even if they don't crush every workout, even if they don't stick with the meal plan, they're drinking their Shaco every freaking day, and they're going to be healthier just by that alone. So like, that's a big part. But I'm just very upfront with it. That's how you do it. That's how you get results. And like Heather said, I would not be where I am without Shaco. Do you guys have a morning time that seems to work for everyone to post, and an evening time? Someone mentioned 4 Central Time. Anyone else?
I usually just do 6 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I do 4 a.m. Central Time because I've got a lot of Eastern Time. So that's 5 a.m. Eastern Time, I think. And it works well for us because I have a coach, Megan, who's like up right away, already finished with her workout. So it's worked for us. And we only do 1 post.
Yeah, I think, Hannah, just whatever works for you and the coaches that you're running it with. I think your challengers are going to love it, whether or not they can post an accurate sweaty selfie. Sammy Oha, do you just go through and delete old posts from your recurring group, or how do you make that transition?
I just keep them because the content varies, because I will have some other coaches like branch off and run their own groups when they start to feel comfortable that I'm running with my new coaches, and we change up the pictures. And honestly, I think we overthink it, because I did for so long that I would like delete all the posts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, what if they see this, that I talked about coaching and invited them into a webinar, but like we overthink it, and they're not going to scroll, like they're already busy enough. So I just keep everything the same.
All right, guys, we have room for like 1 or 2 more questions if you guys have any more. But other than that, I'm going to let these ladies go because they've been freaking amazing. So I'll wait just like a few more seconds. This will be uploaded tonight. And so it'll be in the team page, but obviously you're going to have lots of takeaways from tonight. As you can see, these are 3 successful coaches who all run things differently and yet also somewhat the same. But this is just to give you guys more ideas as to how to keep those challenge groups fresh. Like we had mentioned, if it's not working for you, change it up. If that didn't work for you, change it up again. Like, challenge groups are always evolving, and you can always shake it up with something different. And like Sammy said, if you're bored, your clients are bored, your challengers are bored, and your team is bored. So you got to change it up on behalf of them to lead from the front. So, all right, thank you guys so much for being on. Sweet dreams to everybody. Or for those of you guys that are like ready to do your power hour, then more power to you. But I love you all, and hope you guys have a great week.